Take it off mute, Taya. Good morning. Am I got sound? Am I good? We're all good. Okay. Oh, goodness me. Sorry, I've been a little busy this week, so it's just everything always happens when I'm like super busy, and then I appear to. Hi, Matt. So shit's going down on Twitter, and I thought, okay, well, let's take an opportunity to correct some of the malinformation that's going on at the moment. But also, obviously I haven't streamed for a while, and hopefully it'll be a quick one, but, it never is. The camera on soft focus, no, it's not. It's just, it's just the lighting setup and color grading. When I do an impromptu stream, I don't have time to adjust it. It is just how it is. It is like just the light. I could adjust it. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So it's an autofocus. If it goes out of focus, I can't drive 8 cars at once. So it is what it is. So I can't just sit there looking at myself all the time. It's distracting because I turn it off. Hang on a second. It is just it's on autofocus. So it'll fix itself. Okay. So here we go again. We've seen this over and over again. Same thing with kiwi farms. This is, excuse me, it's interesting actually, because I've sort of realized that maybe rather than being in like psychology, I'm probably more of a cybersecurity person or something like that. I don't know. I kind of, again, I straddle things, but I know quite a bit about this stuff, mostly because, when you run an agency and you've got to go through all the cybersecurity checks, and when you're onboarded as a supplier, you have to go through certain protocols. And I'm not sure if, anyone who's sort of off Twitter at the moment, it's just the news of the day. It's constantly evolving, constantly changing, constant fucking drama, and a lot of really dishonest and bad takes on this whole Twitter Musk situation. Now, I'm not a cybersecurity expert. One thing I also want to make clear is that the very nature of talking about cybersecurity, and especially attack vectors, is that you kind of give information away to people who might want to do the wrong thing and do the bad thing. But what I'll try to do is sort of skim over, it's kind of boring, but I'll try to make it, as interesting as possible, because it is actually really interesting stuff. Because most of, I think, people hear these buzzwords or cybersecurity, they think that that's all just about like malicious code, or just about that security is just about, two-factor authentication, or just about, one piece of code, or, or exploits or whatever. But it actually is at least half, if not more than half, depending on the type of organization that you're part of or dealing with, is actually people and hacking people, okay? And I think that's and this idea of I think that when you see Twitter as a sort of a critical piece of infrastructure in terms of security, you're probably a little more charitable towards some of this stuff that's happening with Elon Musk. Now, if you were a journalist, if any of these people were fucking journalists that are actually covering this thing, it's been really actually quite enlightening to see who, excuse me, gravelly voice. It's quite enlightening to see who, all these tech journalists who clearly have no concept of anything to do with technology, especially cybersecurity. Now, the thing is, I think they do. I think this is actually just wanting to destroy their source, their supply of clicks, and they're the bad guys in all of this, okay? The people who are screaming at Elon Musk are the bad guys. And I think that's, and again, that does not, again, because, we live in black and white land, that does not mean that I necessarily think that Elon Musk is the good guy, okay? But in this instance, the people who are talking about all of Twitter's vulnerabilities, disclosing insider stuff, okay, breaking their NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, talking to journalists, spreading malinformation on Twitter while telling everybody else about the problem of misinformation. It's like, fucking, did anyone ever fucking reflect? Am I the only person who goes, you know what? I think, what's my role in this? And these people that are like, again, I'm writing a thing about this, but this thing about, oh, his management style. It's like, in management 101, any kind of good manager goes, what is my role in this? What happened? What led to this? What was my role in this? And what can we do productively to move forward and fix it? Okay? Anybody who is doing a bad faith analysis or bad faith commentary on this without reflecting on their own contribution to any of these things is not worth listening to, because these people are lying about 101 shit. They are overtly lying about what is happening. Okay? Doesn't matter that he bought Twitter. It does, and not everybody who defends him against you is a simp of Elon Musk. Okay? And this is, like I talked about this before, nothing fucking pushes people to the right more and turns me more fucking capitalist than these waste of space fucking lefties who have no idea how the world works or business works. Which is that fucking cybersecurity of a major infrastructure is in danger. It is in danger every single fucking day. It is under attack every single fucking day. Users have been on the receiving end of insider corruption, selling blue checks, selling access, fucking, narrative control and curation. Fucking, we know about engineers who will just smite anybody. And at some point, people's brains broke and went, oh, yeah, well, it's perfectly fine. He's just firing people. It's like, what is wrong with you? The thing that people need to do first and foremost is reflect on what their contribution has been to the problem before you start fucking lecturing other people on solutions or what they're doing wrong. Look at what you have done and what you contribute. Okay, this is what I talked about last week about fucking wreckers and builders. Okay. Okay, so hang on. I'm just looking at what you're saying, Matt. It's a lot. Hang on. So, yeah, Twitter's office. Yeah, this is the fucking bullshit. Twitter's offices abruptly shut down on Thursday as reports emerged, mass resignations. Yeah, and it's a lie. They're in the business of narrative. They're in the business of fucking narrative control. Okay? Twitter CEO Elon Musk and others were afraid employees would sabotage the company. Yes, I've seen that Twitter thread and I fucking responded to it, to that person who said, the fact that, you're the problem. You're the leak. This is a cybersecurity problem. Okay? Now I'm going to give you a little bit of fucking, a few stats. Well, not stats, but I'm going to give you some information, okay? At least half of cybersecurity attacks, if not more than that, are because of the people, okay? They are because of bad passwords. They are because of lack of, leaky buckets, right? They're because of, gossip, talking to the media, talking about things that you think are innocuous that are actually severely, quite dangerous. Like one of the things I've learned, is that you might be quite surprised to know what might be a security risk for someone like Elon Musk or for someone who is in a powerful position, which is that because they're a target, right? And this is why with that thing with the account that was tracking his plane, for example, that's a threat. That is something that is dangerous to do, because when you are tracking his plane, it makes him a target for bad guys. Okay, the people who seem, again, it's, people who just dox whoever they want and then accuse everyone else of doxing, I'm not expecting them to be all fucking self-aware. People who use people as tools and humiliate people and then, I'm not surprised by any of it. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to get anybody who sees this to think more critically about who they're supporting, who they give money to, what they watch, okay, on these particular issues. Because the people who are saying that this is straightforward, that he is just being Machiavellian, that he is just, laying off people indiscriminately, it's like, well, no. Even remote, like the thing is, we've got certain information, which is that there was corruption at Twitter, that journalists had an unfettered access to people from inside Twitter. Okay, they were buying blue checks. We've all been on the receiving end of it. I have too. Twitter turning a blind eye to certain like disinformation networks and pods and platform manipulation and going hard on people they don't like and finding loopholes in the terms of service. Malicious use of like insiders, right, to fuck up people politically. This is a known problem. This is espionage, effectively corporate espionage, right? This has been going on. This is a known and documented threat. Look at any cybersecurity fucking report from any government department. This is where state actors are constantly trying to undermine, use, global platforms and use these social media tools to fuck up everybody else. Like I've talked about this at length. They use it to fuck up Joe Rogan. They use it to choose a target. They use it to fuck up J.K. Rowling. They use it to you see their army of bots on whoever is like a target at the time, okay? And then it's just like this whole fucking mess of bots and troll farms and bad faith media people. And there's a very simple explanation here, which is that this is all a massively risky situation. Cybersecurity has to be, a priority. And I'm sorry, but I don't know why anybody is defending the person who leaked that 2FA is vulnerable right now. That's not just a fireable offence. That's actually fucking, like that's just tremendously bad faith. It puts a lot of people in. This isn't just, and this is the thing about doxing and all of these things where people just think it's for the lols. Right? Doxing actually fucking leads to harm. But imagine a data breach at Twitter. Okay, you've got heads of state, you've got state actors, you've got journalists, you've got fucking whistleblowers, you've got activists, you've got, all sorts of shit where people are organising, you have, deals, you have all sorts of financial stuff, you have, so many things that people stupidly do via DM. They have all of these, all of this data. A data breach of this scale is catastrophic. So I'm sorry, but anybody who is, like for me, I can't see how, again, I've talked about this, I can't see how I would do anything differently. Some things just become necessary, and you have to choose the less shit option, right? And it's just like, employees apparently jumping ship. Yeah, of course they are. Because he's basically said that, you like it or leave it because this is actually a fucking company. It's not a fucking daycare. Where you can just go in and fucking sense this is serious. And this is the thing that I think that so many of these fucking assholes are, I hope that people are paying attention to who is spreading these, who is ignoring like the actual information here, which is that insider threats are the number one problem, okay, with in terms of like social engineering and all that sort of stuff, like mistaken stuff, not malicious stuff, but just accidental. Like I wrote a column about the Ashley Madison hack. Now, the Ashley Madison hack that happened all those years ago, a million years ago, was it 2014? Okay, something like that. The Ashley Madison hack, it wasn't, again, this is the difference between, people thinking that it's just about having a secure password. Oh yeah, let's just put all of Twitter on LastPass. Don't be an idiot, okay? The way that people gain access is, it wasn't, even though the Ashley Madison website itself was secure, okay? The website itself was secure, their passwords were secure, all of those things. It was actually 3 routers down at the data center that had a bad password, and they were able to get in through that way, okay? A lot of like cybersecurity problems are that people can just talk their way in. Like this is called penetration testing, right? This is what white hat penetration testers do. I should maybe be one because I like the idea of calling myself professional penetration tester, but that's a whole other point. That one's for you, Matt. Yeah, but it's But okay, so penetration testing is where people every day will spend money and hire a consultant to try and see what the vulnerabilities in their business are. Okay, I think you'd be surprised where the vulnerabilities are. Okay, especially with malicious stuff like, you know, when you're talking about cyber terrorism. Okay, fraud, phishing, that's actually, you know, they just want money. Money can sort itself out, but cyber terrorism, especially with these sorts of groups who, as I've shown before over the years, actually openly advocate for cyber terrorism because they believe that, you know, their cause is righteous. Okay, we've seen these manifestos time and time again, these Antifa manifestos where they're like anti-fascist. We advocate for all means necessary. We advocate for cyber terrorism. We will do whatever it takes. We will burn it to the ground. Okay, and that mindset has infected Twitter. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm just going to have to ignore it. It's derailing me. Okay, so but yeah, so you know, they spend a fortune just trying to figure out what the vulnerabilities are. Food service, okay? If there's lunch on the premises, that could, you know, that's an avenue in. If you know, the physical location of the building, getting in through the basement, getting in through the windows, how do you talk your way through security? How do you, you know, employees' Facebook accounts, how do people get access through that? Through friends and family, through Facebook accounts, through LinkedIn, all these various, you know, there's all these things, and they're called attack vectors, okay? So in an attack vector is something where, again, normie speak, but it's all the potential. So if you've got a house, you've got lots and lots of different ways where someone who is really determined, if something you've got is really, really, really important, okay, and someone really, really, really wants it, anybody can get into your house, okay? Don't want to scare you, but, you know, we mostly operate in the fact that most of us aren't that interesting, and but once you become a target, you need a compound, okay? That's why celebrities and those people have security. They need those things because people will just find their way in. Bad guys come in and, you know, make themselves a target. Twitter is a target. It's not only an asset for, you know, corporate bullshit and journalist drama and, you know, gossip. Again, that's bottom level stuff that journalists really should be doing the real fucking work. I don't know why the fuck I'm expected to be explaining this shit when not a single fucking person is. Okay? So annoying. Anyway, stop giving them money and eyeballs. Seriously, withdraw your shit. Stop encouraging these people. It's laziness. They're not doing their job. If they're a tech journalist and not understanding that this is basically just a risk management and cybersecurity issue in a contentious fucking takeover, they're not worth listening to. They're just not worth listening to at all. Okay. But yeah, so Matt said, so I finally proven right that only 2 people work at Twitter and they're both called Dave. Absolutely. Well, that'll be coming true soon enough, but that's okay. Do you know why? Because that means that there's jobs for people like me who actually care about users and who actually want to work there and who want to do good in this world, not some selfish fucking bitchy leech who's on the take, who is there for clout, and who has absolutely no concept of the gift that they have and the power that they have and how they are abusing that power without any, I don't know if this sentence came out right, but without any self-reflection whatsoever that the fact that they may actually be the bad guys, because they are so busy sniffing their own farts and the farts of everyone who agrees with them that they're sitting there and they are being absolutely foul people. They're attacking people like me who have just done nothing but try to be good to users and fucking, you know, defend what's right and defend truth, defend Twitter, defend tech, you know, all that stuff. And they just turn around and they just burn it to the ground and they wreck it and they lie. And I also know that they will never fucking get consequences because they'll just get hired somewhere else. These people, the rich kids, they just fail upwards, okay? It's such a big projection for them to talk about Elon Musk failing upwards with these people because they are the epitome of failing upwards, which is that they can this is gross misconduct, okay? I think Elon Musk has been fucking nice to these people. I think that I swear to God, if you understood what was actually happening, okay, you'd be more on side. You know, like if you actually were across this issue and knew anything about cybersecurity, knew anything about the risk involved, knew anything about like the fact that mouthing off to journalists about vulnerabilities for, you know, critical infrastructure, right? That they're actually contributing to, like, what the fuck? And again, we all know this. We learned this from Kiwi Farms, that cyber terrorism is fine, so long as journalists are engaging in it. And because they get to just cover their tracks and delete the fucking record anyway. So hopefully we've got a fighting chance of being able to actually call them on their shit and not get banned from Twitter. And I can talk about this now without, you know, worrying about being banned by these people, because I am calling them what they are, which is cyber terrorists. They are cyber terrorists. Okay? The people who took down, like Kiwi Farms, cyber terrorists. Because again, don't have to like Kiwi Farms. Don't have to like it. That's part of their fucking game, is to make it so that I'm somehow, because I think that they're bad guys, that I'm defending the good, like, you know, other people I'm not really fond of. That's not what's happening here. You're the bad guys. You are my enemy. Okay? These journalists, tech journalists, these waste of space engineers, okay? You know, they're not engineers. They're fucking probably, I reckon these people that call themselves engineers, they're probably, you know, UX people at best. No offense to UX people, but, you know, like they're probably front end. Okay? They're probably like, they're not anyone. Okay? Because real engineers would not fucking be mouthing off like this, and they understand the implications of what they're doing. Okay, you have been treating Twitter like it's a fucking daycare center for you and your mates. So while you just, you know, vacuum up clout, you sit there, you rest and vest, so to speak, you make friends with journalists, and you just land into a new position. And then you will just leave everyone else in your wake, leave the platform in your wake. You don't give a fuck about users. We know that. We definitely know that Twitter, like these engineers, don't give a fuck about users. Okay. And anyone who is talking about the vulnerabilities or how it's held together or how all these things are like a problem and they are leaking internal shit publicly, they don't give a fuck about you and your safety. Okay? Because if they did, they wouldn't talk about it, because they would know that it was going to be exploited. They are inviting this stuff. And this is the problem, because this is a corrupt business. All right? Yeah, it's, you know, but it's not just, you know, like, yes, it's a given that the news is fucked, okay? But this is people who, again, some things you just become crystal clear when you see people who you think are on your side and agree with you, you know, like the Young Turks or Majority Report, or those people, people that you think, you know, as a sort of lefty, these YouTubers, excuse me, where you think that they are somehow your, you know, they're always talking about the mainstream media. They are the mainstream media, okay? They're there to run interference, okay? Much like the ABC is there to make Murdoch talking points, Murdoch policies more palatable, okay, for the, you know, wine mum set, as Friendly Geordie says, right? It's, you know, make these sort of more, it's just a more palatable version of the same old conservative bullshit, right? And this woke shit is just, you know, a veneer for the same old psychotic fucking stuff that we've had to deal with, right, over the years. You know, it's all just smoke and mirrors. And they're lying because it's an obvious danger right now. Okay, now I'm writing a thing about it. But look, let me show you this. Let me share my screen. Sorry, I didn't actually plan to stream today, and I'm on a new drug. Makes my voice a bit croaky, but it also has migraines as a side effect. So I have a slight, you know, constant fucking, yeah, so I apologise if I sort of, you know, okay. But look, here, easy. Look, the most common attack vectors in cybersecurity. So attack vectors are all the potential ins, all the ways in, all the different ways in which things can sort of, you know, penetrate, you know, a business, okay? Number one, insider threats, okay? It's one of the most common attack vectors. Still, not all types of insider threats are malicious, okay? Naive employees can sometimes inadvertently expose internal data, and that's one of the things that's a big problem. Okay, that's one of the things that I learned over the years with InfoSec, right? Sorry, information security, with big tech companies in particular, is that's those non-disclosure agreements exist for a reason. Okay, it's not a power move necessarily. It is actually, a lot of it is just because it is leaky. And you might, like I said, you know, food service is an interesting one, okay? The fact that everyone was talking about all this food service stuff this week. But, you know, nobody thinks that maybe someone could poison the food, okay? Nobody thinks that maybe someone could, you know, do something to the food or mess with things or fuck with the water or, you know, anything like that, okay? Or attack people who, you know, are walking out of the office and steal their keys or, you know, there's all these things that you just don't think of. That, you know, unless you've had a full sort of security audit and you just don't, it's just something that you take for granted. So, but the thing is that a tech journalist should know this, okay? Anybody who's in, they know this. And if they don't, then they're bad, they're lying. Sorry, if they don't, then they're incompetent. And if they do, then they're lying to you and then they're not worth listening to either way, okay? So ill-intentioned individuals working for a company may intentionally disclose confidential information or plant malware, being fueled by various motives and for their own personal gain. The most recent insider threat statistics reveal alarming issues that need to be considered and addressed by all organizations. For example, insider threats have increased by 47% in the past 2 years, and 70% of organizations are witnessing more frequent insider attacks. Now, okay, here's the various things, right? This was from 2017, but the percentages haven't really changed, but they kind of, look, here, most serious attack vectors. 1, so you'd think that, oh yeah, here we go, exploits, lost through, oh yeah, exploits, okay, or 4%. Crypto malware, ransomware, 5%, okay? Insider threats, 6%. So insider threats are actually higher than malware and ransomware, okay, in terms of risk. DDoS attack, okay? Who was doing that? Wait. Oh, yeah, who was doing that? Targeted attack, okay? Hardware theft. That's why they've been locked out of their laptops. Phishing and social engineering. So that's one. So phishing is the thing where, you know, it spoofs and looks like, as you know, like the banking. Everyone knows what phishing is, like when you get the dodgy emails from PayPal or whatever, right? But the social engineering part is when you physically go there, you try to get access. Right, you use, but you don't just use the employees, but you can use, the wives of the employees or the kids of the employees. There's lots of different attack vectors. They'll try, it's not just the direct thing, but there's lots and lots and lots of different ways, right? Accidental loss of hardware, 7%. This is why he was saying, come to the office. But again, like not one of these people have decided that there was a more plausible explanation. It's just all about them and all about their fucking loss of their blue check. At the end of the day, it's about them losing their fucking check marks and ability to harass and fucking, abuse a platform that was meant for everyone to their own benefit. That's what this is about, which is a bunch of fucking toddlers crying over cybersecurity. They don't care about you. They don't care about users. They don't care about the integrity of the platform. And this is why, because of these guys, they needed to do this, which is if I get a whiff, I'd probably do it the same way again. This is independent of how I feel about Elon Musk. This is a fact. This is about the issue. Okay? If I was in this situation, I would say if there is any risk at all of anybody who might secretly or quietly plant code, malicious code, steal code, that's why he's frozen the Git. It's why he's frozen all of the fucking puts. It's why he needs people in the office. It's why he shuts everyone out whenever there's these things, okay? It's why he had to look at the kitchen. It's not just about the money spent, which is also a thing, but I mean, of course, the right-wingers will make it about how workers are too fucking, it's like, who gives a fuck if they've got lunch? It's the fact that they're talking about it. The fact that everyone knows they're getting lunch. It's a security fucking problem. And if it was me, and it's the same thing, like accidental loss of hardware, here you go, careless and uninformed employees. Okay, so that's one where, and look at this, 21% is other. Okay, so the vast majority of cyber threat, ends with cyber terrorists, all of those vulnerabilities are actually not to do with code or technology at all. Okay? Like, you'd think that DDoS would be like 20%. If you'd think that malware would be 20%. Most of the time that stuff's like fairly easily detected and dealt with, right? Unless you get sort of a new one like Log4j or whatever, right? But most of it is actually people fucking up. And it's not even like this. The thing about this thing is that it's not even now accidental. Okay. This is not accidental leaking. This is corruption. This is deliberate sabotage of the platform. This is a legitimate concern. It has always been a legitimate concern. And if I was in his shoes, I'd go, well, fuck it. I'm probably going to be the bad guy. Look, okay. Just do it. Just do it. Do what it takes. It's what you've got to do. Again, if anyone was reflecting on what they brought to the table and what they did to deserve this, okay, anybody reasonable would go, oh, yeah, okay. If you're an engineer and you don't know this, you're a bad engineer. If you're an engineer at Twitter and you don't know this, you should be fired. If you're an engineer and at Twitter and sharing this shit publicly and then making yourself the victim in order to look fucking copy with the journalists and maybe carve yourself a fucking new opportunity, get the fuck out. You're a bad engineer, you're unethical, and people don't need you. And that's the problem, is that this stuff is serious. This is dangerous. If you read any government cybersecurity report about how state actors use all of these attack vectors, okay? There's 21% of other, okay? This is where these fucking Twitter fucks or journalists and shit here, okay? All sorts of things there. Okay, other. This is the constantly moving, always changing, always a new fucking angle where you don't even know that you're fucking spilling information, okay? But this isn't even an accident. This is malicious with Twitter. It's known to be malicious. It's proven to be malicious. And I don't see why. And like, given the risk of the state actors and various corporations and blue checks who've, losing control of this platform because they know this. If they are a tech journalist or an engineer worth anything, they know these basics. And if they're not talking about these basics, that means they're trying to sell you something that is a lie and that they are not to be trusted. Because they are quite happy to throw you and your data and your fucking passwords and your DMs and, all of this stuff and maybe get you doxxed and all of these things because they don't like the guy who owns it. Because someone might have a no word and they might not be able to control and manipulate that platform anymore. That's the fact. That's what's happening here. And I don't know how many, again, it's just, I don't know what to say anymore because everyone's just so fucking brain broken. What's funny is Matt's actually a server guy. So is that your professional opinion? But when you're an infrastructure guy, like, it's obvious what he's done. Actually, I'm going to ask you. It's obvious what's going on if you're in the business. It's just 101 security shit. Yeah, that's what it's just like it's been astonishing to watch this just outright lie. Oh, what about misinformation and impersonation? And then they turn around and do the impersonating and the malinformation and they think somehow that it's and then they call it performance art. And you're like, what the fuck? No, you are malicious. You're the bad guys. Like, what the fuck? And it's just like, I just don't understand. Well, I do understand, but, because they're fucking narcissists and psychopaths. But it's just insane. If I can reach maybe one or two people who go, you know what, Elon Musk, fuck it, whatever, complicated, okay. All right, not to be, Stan, he's our next fucking savior. That's just that's not, you shouldn't be putting anybody on pedestals just because whatever. You should just take things as they are, see things as they are. Stop seeing things as you want them to be or they should be. See things as best you can. Try to see things as they are and figure out a better way to do things based on what you've got in front of you and what can be achieved in any given moment, okay? There's a book I was reading that just has a sentence that resonated with me, which is do the next right thing. Don't worry about what you did in the fucking future. Don't worry about what should be. Don't worry about anything else. Just get as much information as you can. Do as good as you can in the moment. Don't worry about anything else. Just do the next right thing. And things will be okay. Okay? Who gives a fuck if he's a billionaire? Right now, he's like fixing this problem. He's dealing with it in a way that Twitter is just insanely toxic. Internally, it's coming out like more and more, like again, because of these fucking leaky dickheads that you know, I love is that he's had it for 2 weeks and suddenly they're all like, Twitter sucks. It's terribly engineered and it's all vulnerable and it's all shit. But the engineers aren't to blame. It's like, are people really this stupid? Are people really this dumb? That they think that Elon Musk is now suddenly to blame 2 weeks in. If Twitter falls apart 2 weeks after Elon Musk took over, then that's your problem of legacy and like, yeah, they're talking about technical debt and all that sort of stuff. Yes, that's going to happen with a platform this old, right? Once you a website has a 2-year life cycle before it needs a redevelop, let alone a giant platform, right? You've always got legacy code and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, like, how is he to blame for this shit? Yes, he's firing people, but he's firing people for the right reasons, which is that you're mouthing off and you're acting like a fucking threat. Insider threats are the most common attack vectors, whether accidental if it's malicious, then it's even worse. Like I said before, one person with a fucking hard drive doing a fucking database dump could cause fucking. You think that an accidental bit of shrapnel in Poland could cause World War III, but you don't see that. You're a fucking idiot. It's just like, what the fuck? And you know what? I'll quite happily, thank you, Elon, I will run the company. I'll quite happily do that because I know that some things are just necessary. You know, it's not an easy job, okay? And it's just so bad faith. Like, oh, the bankruptcy thing. Oh, it's bankruptcy is first of all, he said it's just, he used it to motivate people. Okay, he used it to say he tried to be transparent, and then they're like, hey, he's going to get bankrupt. Yeah, you know what? It might need to go bankrupt. You know why? Because it wasn't he bought it not for profit, you idiot. Billionaire philanthropy. Look at it that way. But no, you hate that too. That's not good enough either. Because people who won't, you know, it's never the government. It's always the billionaires. It's always their fault. It's not the government. It's not the people you elect. It's just you sitting and moaning. Make your representatives tax them, and then they'll you know, Amazon pays, you know, pretty decent wages here. We have pretty decent conditions. Everyone gets paid because they have to be paid minimum wage because they're fucking told to. Tell them to. Just because you can't run a country, America, all right, doesn't make, you'll be blaming the wrong people. You're just salty, hating billion. It's like people who physically can't get rid of their money, try to get rid of their money, try to do good, but that's not good enough. Well, tax them. Well, okay, well, why don't you tax them then? Okay, yeah, they spend, okay, I know I'm being glib, but I'm just saying, right? It's like, well, someone's doing something. Nancy Pelosi gets to fuck off, doesn't she? Exactly. Fucking idiots. Yeah, always coldest here when Taya streams. I know, it's so cold there's tumbleweeds. But, you know, like, honestly, I know that it's just Twitter, and I understand that there is a battle going on here, and my job has always been annoying, which is that, you know, basics, teaching people basic shit like insiders are the biggest fucking threat at a time of transition with a company, especially one like this where people, first of all, have an ideology that, you know, they're attached to people who advocate cyber terrorism. They're attached to people who've done it in the past, literally before our eyes with Kiwi Farms. They fucking made Kiwi Farms like they just wrote that narrative, and nothing ever came of that. Everyone just moved on. Okay, I haven't moved on. I'm just, focused on other things, but, I'm watching it. Okay, these people who can just run roughshod over everything, who know better. Okay, they know how to manipulate the systems. They are fucking terrorists. And it's just like, okay, well, maybe I need to go into cybersecurity. I don't know, but whatever. But it's just like, fucking hell. I'm just trying to get people to, not be stupid. So you got phishing, right? That's the one you're probably mostly familiar with, right? Involving manipulation tactics adopted by malicious individual whose ultimate purpose is to trick employees into clicking on suspicious links, okay? Supply chain attacks. Here we go. Business partners can also become major vectors of attack in cybersecurity. That's why when we had the agency, we had to go through, so much InfoSec. And that's also why, small players find it very hard to get into these things because, trying to get through InfoSec is really, really hard. They have to be, okay? Some of the biggest security incidents and data breaches have been caused by vendors. Supply chain attacks are a common way for attackers to target a vendor's customers. This is the reason why organisations, large and small, together with their business partners, must foster a culture where cybersecurity best practices are shared and mutual transparency is demonstrated. I don't know. Do you think maybe leaking all this shit to advertisers or advertisers pulling all the Twitter shit or all of these things might be a problem? What do you think? Do you think all the agencies that are in bed with these corrupt fucks might be an issue? No, because people don't think below the fold. They don't think past, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, because they get to sit in their fucking on the crapper with their phone hating on billionaires because that's the worldview, that's the shoe that fits this one. Fucking idiots. Weak or compromised login credentials. Here, again, cherry picking. They'll fixate on this. They fired the engineer who, for 2FA or whatever the fuck. Who knows? Okay. But again, employees' authentication credentials be too weak or become compromised. So there's a risk, right? Which is that they might just hand their computer over. Okay? For all the carry on about Hunter Biden's laptop, they certainly fucking, don't seem to understand that you can actually do quite a lot of damage with that, right? Usernames and passwords, okay? Credential stealing, okay? So logging in. Somebody with administrator access to the fucking security, to the CRM of Twitter would be again, they do silo it, but if they had a multi-vector attack where you had content moderation shit and that marketing shit, you could do tremendous amounts of malicious damage in a couple of hours. Okay, people just have no concept. Okay, brute force attack, which, that's something that we've all seen. Again, this is, anyway, that's a separate thing. That's the stuff that you probably associate mostly with cybersecurity. Unpatched vulnerabilities, again, ransomware. Effectively, what this is kind of like a weird social ransomware attack, which is that they're just going to have a big old fucking tantrum and flood everyone with shit. It's an extortion attempt. It's a weird kind of intersection, actually. Okay. Yeah, SolarWinds was a pretty epic example of supply chain attack, customers getting owned. Yeah. And also Medibank recently and Optus. Optus's vulnerability was through their API, I believe. That was stupid. It was a fucking open API. But, these things are, And it stands the test of time and it keeps us all in underpaid and unappreciated work that just always seems to land on my fucking desk all the time. Log4j was fun. Remember that? I was the one who identified the Log4j attack on my wholesalers' servers because weird shit was going on and they kept doing webhook and queries with Stripe and shit. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And it turned out to be the Log4j. It was behaving really weird. So I actually spotted it before WordFence or anyone else spotted it. So it was, that was fun. That was a fun week. Has that been patched? I don't even know if that was fixed. I haven't, I really should just, fuck it. I should just do cybersecurity and be done with it. But the people side of cybersecurity, cross-site scripting, that's just boring technical shit. Man-in-the-middle attack, which is the type of cyber attack where the attacker inserts himself into a conversation between two victims in order to eavesdrop or tamper with the communication. Okay, this is another problem with Twitter at the moment, being able to email with these cozy little fucking relationships that are going on. There's a risk there. They need to not have access to things until it's sorted out. This is the real world, kids. Okay, billionaires banned. Let me miss the issue completely. DNS poisoning. Okay, DNS spoofing is a type of cyber attack in which an attacker corrupts the DNS, the domain name system, to point a domain to the wrong IP address. This can redirect users to a malicious website or server where they may be infected with malware. So if someone let's just say an engineer decided that they would switch a fucking Twitter DNS records where people were just fucking using it as usual and it was vacuuming up their shit. You don't know what. Again, this is a group of people who generally turn a blind eye to cyber terrorism when it's them and their side and they've got a fucking story to push. We watched it with Kiwi Farms. We watched them cheer on cybercrime with no consequences. We watched them slippery and move through and slide through with no fucking consequences whatsoever. And you think that they're going to do the right thing now? Like, what the fuck? And also, don't forget that Twitter has a developer API where they have a lot of access to other things. So if people could just pull those people with Firehose access, for example. Firehose is the access to all of Twitter's data via their API. You've got to register as a preferred provider to get that information, okay? A lot of those preferred providers are these advertisers and corporations and media companies and researchers and universities that are turning on Musk right now. A lot of people who have access to the fire hose of Twitter are the people who are cracking the shits at Twitter right now. You don't think that's a problem? You don't think that's a reason to shut things down? If you don't think that's a valid reason, then I don't know what to say. You're an idiot. Okay? Now, again, I'm not saying that the way it's been handled is necessary, but the nature of security is that it's like Fight Club. You can't talk about fucking cybersecurity is a cybersecurity problem because of that other. So all of the people like me spitballing on potential ways to fuck with the system or manipulate the system, which all these journalists and stuff have figured out a thing. They figured out a way to get what they want using these social engineering and these relationships and massaging and fucking bribes and all that sort of shit that they've done is documented. State actors who have documented interest in manipulation of these platforms. Corporate interests who astroturf and manipulate these platforms to fucking oblivion. Have you noticed there's fewer bots? A lot of troll farms, but not bots anymore. I've been getting more troll farm stuff, but that's okay. Not more troll farm stuff, just, the same usual shit. Oh, you're stupid. Okay, what else you got? Troll farm. And then I report them because the one thing about Twitter is that they can see who they're connected to and how many accounts they've got and all that sort of stuff. So report troll farms, people. It's better to be have it be positive than because they can then look at it and whoever's left can have a look at it. I'll do it for free, but be a good citizen, help out, do something. Just sit there moaning about fucking oh my god. The absolute worst take is I've heard from an insider at Twitter. Here's some vulnerabilities that we've noticed or that they're talking about and then publishing it. I hope no one gets fucking hurt as a result of this stuff, because if they do, I hope that you get fucking charged with criminal negligence. I really just hope that people start to see this for what it is. They won't, because the people who control the narrative and they control your brains and they can just fucking nudge you wherever they want. But I can tell you that this is just bog standard cybersecurity stuff and a bunch of fucking powerful people who are gargling the balls of the fucking powerful, claiming to be socialist, claiming to be the left or whatever the fuck. okay, don't know what they're talking about, and don't realize that they're actually the bad guys in this instance. And that's the thing that you need to take away. Okay. To say that they are the bad guys in this instance absolutely does not mean that I think that Elon Musk is the good guy necessarily. In this instance, yeah, probably I imagine that if he's doing what, based on his actions, if he's doing what I think he's doing, you know, I would have gone about it differently, but mostly I think that his decisions have been necessary, uncomfortable, important, and you know, the people who are mad is you know, pay attention to who's actually angry and why they're angry. Okay, it's usually a combination of not knowing what the fuck you're talking about. I watched Hassan Piker still reduce this down to sucking up to billionaires. Like somehow we're sucking up to, it's like that's just an ad hominem attack, because we're actually talking about cybersecurity and how you transition. Again, focusing on what is in front of you, not what should be. Oh yeah, I don't like billionaires existing. Okay, cool, they do. What are you doing? What the fuck? Yes, this is a fucking transition of ownership with an important fucking asset that was previously owned and abused by people who were effectively a fucking disinformation fucking mafia. I don't know how this is like not obvious that this needed to happen, and that they're going to be mad and they're going to put all of their fucking anti-energy media, you know, they're going to, anti-energy, how they're not going to fight like hell. You saw what the tobacco Monsanto did and fucking, you know, GM did to Ralph Nader. Look that up. Look at what Big Oil did with the, you know, they're in the doubt business. They make you deny what you've seen with your eyes and ears, which is that you've been subjected to censorship, nudging. You have had your world dictated to you by these people who are not authoritative. They don't know what they're talking about. Look at tech journalists, people who are claiming to be tech journalists who are not talking about the obvious fact that this is just cybersecurity. Who are calling, if Taylor Lorenz, head of tech, what is it, tech journalism or whatever the fuck at Washington Post, have you heard her talking about this? No. It's all about how Elon Musk be bad. Billionaire bad. Actually, no, Washington Post won't do that. Right? But, you know, it's just like, okay, yeah, okay, I get it. I'm a bootlicker. Wow. Aren't you a real fucking intellectual? It's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. I've got somebody working on a cartoon for me at the moment. He's a cartoonist, and I thought I was going to do it, and I was like sitting there going, I wish I could do it like cartoons, but I can't. I don't have time, and it wouldn't be that as good. So I've asked him to do it, and it's the Bougie Babies. It's like like Beanie Babies, but they're pitching a fit in a playpen, and it's going to be like a piece of merch that I can sell. It's the Bougie Babies. Looking forward to it. So I'll be setting that up and because I've got to get the store up and running and stuff. I've got to start making some money, man. Anyway, but I'll get there. We'll making more money. I appreciate the patrons I've got. Thank you very much. I know that the stuff's really hard at the moment, but you know, it just frustrates me that all these people are engineers. Apparently they're engineers. Apparently they're grown-ups. Apparently they're experts in fucking, you know, critical infrastructure, but they're talking about security flaws on Twitter. Like, what the fuck? You obviously don't understand. You're not a very good engineer. Yeah, back to on Patreon for a free Bougie Baby. Yeah, I will actually be sending a freebie to everyone who supported me. So, you know, it's all good. But yeah, anyway, I've gone too long. How long is it? Under an hour. Good. Outsaying my welcome. Yeah, I'm writing it. The thing is, there's just so many angles here, and so much is just, it just keeps winding me up, and when you feel like, and this is the same thing with the Kiwi Farms thing, or with, you know, all these issues where you just see people just lying and pretending they're not. So my issue is that they're pretending to be authorities on things. And they're obviously not, because if they were, they would know the basics. Like someone like these, I think it was a troll farm actually, but someone was like, I was like, this woke shit is a veneer for, you know, right-wing principles. Woke shit's right-wing by any stretch. And they're basically like, oh, the new troll farm thing is, you're not making any sense. I was like, well, I am. It's 101 politics. If you know 101 politics, then you're fine. Same thing with this, cybersecurity. If you know anything about cybersecurity, this is 101 shit, which is that, you know, the basics, right? Here you go. How to protect your organization from threat vectors. Educate your employees. Well, that's gone well. Apply the principle of least privilege. Limiting your users' rights to the lowest level possible that still allows them to successfully perform their tasks is the cornerstone of POLP. This practice closes multiple security holes inside your organization, while it allows you to achieve granular control over the actions performed and eliminates the danger of insider threats. Now, the problem with Twitter is that you've got people working together in their silos to try and like sabotage the platform in very serious ways. It'll stay up. It'll be fine. I'm streaming there now. Seems pretty stable. The first thing to go if there was a problem with Twitter would be the fucking live streaming video. It's fine. Okay. Use a mix of cybersecurity tools for layered protection. So sometimes even the most knowledgeable employees may accidentally click on malicious links. So you see how even when it's accidental, it's dangerous. When it's malicious, it is like DEFCON 3. Don't say that. So anyway, right? But this chart here, remember this. You know, you think this is cybersecurity, okay? Here, where are we? Right? But it's mostly this, mostly insider threats, mostly hardware loss and theft, mostly targeted attacks, okay? Social engineering, okay? You need to understand that, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Fuck, it's not hard. Okay, now, remember, these things are like, I don't know how many times I can, anyway, I'm drifting now. I'm going to go. I've got shit to do. I've got money to make, people to talk to, all that sort of stuff. I love you. The spelling is bougie. Hang on. I'm going to, here. Let no word, no typo be uncorrected. Anyway, I love you. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure if I was coherent. I apologize because, you know, migraine and stuff, but I'm pushing through. I'm hoping to get through the backlog of things and then sort of fresh start, like by New Year. But I say that every year and then I end up back again. But, you know, I'm thinking about whether I do a cybersecurity, like get a certification or something. But, you know, the problem with cybersecurity training is that it's also, this is just the system, which is that you have to choose either international relations and terrorism with a heavy emphasis on whatever, or cybersecurity where it's too much nerd shit. So it's like there's always that middle, and the problem, again, the universities, they've siloed it so that, you know, I've got to find, I don't know whether it's just, I don't know how to get certified. I know all the things and I learn all the things and I've done all the things, but I know the process to get certified in these things. I don't know where my future is. I'm starting to wish I'd made different decisions, because I'd be putting my hand up to be working at Twitter at the moment and try to be part of the solution. But, you know, I haven't made the right choices. Bought too many of the, you know, even now it's like, yeah, I'm not fighting the right fights. Am I fighting the right fights? I don't know. I feel like it just feels like I'm pushing fucking Sisyphus all fucking day. That's what it feels like. Anyway, my main goal is my main goal is to just get some stuff written, and that's hard enough. So anyway, trying to get a book out by, you know, April. That's my goal. See how we go. Anyway, if you're Elon Musk and want to give me some money, you want to invest in another loss-making endeavor, you want to get, speaking of billionaire philanthropy, no, if you want to invest in another not-for-profit, you know how to, anyway, I love you. fucking ease up on the fucking billion. It's like your brain's broken. Yes, billionaires exist. What now? Grow up. All right. I love you. Do something. Do the next right thing. Which is, the next right thing would be to share this or give me money. That would be the next right thing for you to do right now. Anyway, I love you. I'm going to go. Take care. Bye. Where's the thing? Fucking buttons. Got to configure the buttons. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Ba-ba-dee-bee. Ba-ba-boo. Bye-bye. Bye. Do-do-do. Theme song, I need a theme song, but I get copyright strikes every time I try. So I use the default YouTube shit. I can't hear the tune, so I'm out of rhythm. I know it, haha. All right. Where's your cake? Never got my cake. When you guys come to Perth, you can have cake. I'll make you a cake. I'll make you cheesecake. Tell me your favourite cake, I'll make you one. Come to Perth. Or when I go there. Wherever you are. All right, I love you.